So, you're thinking about starting an AI agency, but the idea of sinking a ton of money into it before you even have a single client, well, it's pretty terrifying, right? In this explainer, we're going to lay out a blueprint that completely flips that old model on its head. This is all about how to get profitable literally from day one. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you get this thing off the ground without a mountain of cash or spending months building some complicated piece of tech that, let's be honest, might not even be what clients want? Let's dive in and answer that. Here's our roadmap. It's 6 simple steps. First, we'll talk about a huge trap most people fall into. Then, we'll cover a much smarter way to build your business. After that, it's all action. Defining your service, finding clients, automating your work, and wrapping it all up with the one thing you absolutely cannot skip, your legal safety net. Okay, first up, let's talk about the biggest mistake I see people make. Seriously, this is the trap that causes so many promising agencies to just completely burn out before they even get a chance to get started. So the old way, the trap, is this idea that you have to build the complex AI platform first. You spend months, maybe thousands of dollars, building something you think people want. It's a massive risk. The new way? It's the complete opposite. You start by selling a service you can do by hand. This gets you paid from day one and pretty much wipes out all that financial risk. So how do we actually do that? Well, it all comes down to something called the leveraged agency model. And trust me, this is the secret sauce for building a business that's not just profitable today, but is built to last. The idea here is actually really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You sell a service first, then you deliver it by hand. Now, this does 2 incredibly important things. 1, it puts cash in your pocket right away. But even more important is number 2. It forces you to learn the client's problem inside and out before you've written a single line of code. You're basically getting paid to do your market research. It's genius. And here's what that looks like over the long haul. Phase 1 is the manual grind. You're in the trenches, doing the work, and this is key, documenting every single step. In phase 2, all that documentation becomes the blueprint for your automation. This is where you start to scale. And finally, phase 3, you take that bulletproof system and turn it into a real product, a SaaS. And that's where you unlock some serious exponential growth. All right, enough theory. It's time to get practical. The very first thing you need to do is define your service. And that means picking a niche and finding that one perfect, high-value problem that you can solve. And the key here is to aim for industries with really expensive, high-stakes problems. I mean, look at these numbers. In fields like cybersecurity or healthcare, project values are massive. Why? Because the cost of not solving the problem is even higher. That's your sweet spot. You want to find the pain. Now, you're not trying to solve all their problems at once. The goal is to define what we call a minimum viable service, or MVS. You need to get laser-focused, ask yourself, what is the single, most annoying, repetitive, painful task I can take off their plate completely? That's it. That's your MVS. And just to make this super clear, here are a few examples. Notice how specific they are. We're not improving marketing. We are automating lead response emails for dentists. We're not organizing data. We're summarizing daily CRM updates for a sales team. This kind of specificity makes your service so much easier to sell. And in the beginning, way easier to deliver by hand. Okay, you've got your service defined. Fantastic. Now comes the part that really separates the winners from the wannabes. You gotta find clients. And let's be real, this is a numbers game. It's part art, part science, and a whole lot of outreach. You need to burn this quote into your brain. Your goal with outreach isn't to get a yes every time. It's to get an answer, any answer, fast. A quick no is so much more valuable than a maybe that just wastes your time for weeks. Speed and volume are everything here. So what does volume really look like? We're not talking about sending 10 or 20 emails. We are talking about thousands. To get a consistent stream of leads coming in, you have to be doing high volume outreach, whether it's cold emails, Upwork bids, whatever. There's just no way around the grind. I love this analogy. Think of lead generation like a broken slot machine. You know, it's not glamorous, it's super repetitive, kind of boring, but this particular machine is rigged in your favor. If you just show up and consistently pull that lever, send those emails, make those bids, I promise you, it will pay out. All right, you've done it. You've done the manual work, you've documented every little detail, and you've got clients paying you. Now the fun begins. It's time for phase 2,
turning that manual process into a slick, automated system that can scale.
The key to building an automation that doesn't break is this three-part system. Think of it like this. The plan is just your instructions, written in plain English. The manager is like an AI project manager. It reads the plan and figures out what to do. Then it delegates the actual work to the tools. And the tools are just simple, dumb scripts that do one thing really, really well. This separation of the thinking from the doing is what makes the whole thing so reliable. A great way to think about this is like playing Minecraft. Your system starts out with like a basic wooden pickaxe. It's not great, but it works. But every time it runs a task or hits an error, it learns. And it uses that knowledge to upgrade its own tools, from wood to stone, stone to iron, and eventually to diamond. It's a system that actually gets better all by itself over time. Okay, before you send a single email or sign a single contract, we have to talk about your safety net. This is the legal and financial foundation that protects you, your family, and your business. And let me be clear, this part is absolutely non-negotiable. So why is this so important? Because this is the legal firewall between your business and your personal life. If, for whatever reason, the business gets into trouble or gets sued, this shield makes sure they can't come after your house, your car, or your personal savings. And with AI, you have to be prepared for that possibility. So here's your checklist. It's simple. First, form an LLC. That creates the legal shield. Second, get something called Tech E&O insurance. That covers you if your automation makes a costly mistake. And third, use a rock-solid service agreement for every single client. Do these three things before you take a single penny from anyone. So let's bring this all back to the very beginning. I want to leave you with this one question. Forget about complex AI for a second. Just think, what is the one boring, annoying, painful task that some business out there would gladly pay you $1,000 a month to just take off their plate, starting right now? The answer to that question, well, that's your first step. That's the start of your entire blueprint.